the open and then didn't make top 25. They had the last chance here to make London, and they started off fantastic. But look, if history is going to repeat itself, yesterday, guess who won map 1? Guess who had the most points in map 1? Pro Urson squad. Did they make London, Tiff? I think we all know the answer.
No, they did not. They kind of fell off, and I don't really want to put that energy towards Team Dakota as we look to have a relatively decent plane line cutting from that south and northwestern side. And Dakota going early on. Why did you put this energy on them, Ghosh? Chronicle down, Dakota down, Furkle has to get out of dodge at this point because Grev, B-Mark, and Casper, they want to capitalize on this.
Oh, we got a Twitch poll that happened. Will there be a back-to-back winner? A lot of people saying no, and so far it looks like Twitch chat might be correct for the first time in their lives. We'll see what they can do, though. Dakota likely can stabilize. Look, I claim bad juju. I say it out loud, and I hold on to it, and I throw it out the window. The boys are going to resettle back in. They're going to stabilize. They're going to have a good game, too. I'm just calling it like it is.
Ghosh, I don't trust you anymore, dude. Like, I've been watching this anime called The Future Diaries recently, and it gives you just, like, the actual dialogue and some of these players, like, what is going to happen for that anime, and I want to believe that you don't have one of those.
Oh, I'm going to trust you on that call, Tiff. I got no idea, but I'm here for it. Keep referencing anime on main. I'm so in. Lovey, Reader, Authorized. They're going to have to try to pull some anime moves here in order to win this gunfight. Fall Net Squad kind of set up a small net. But it is now a 3v1 because Devo's just giving himself away, maybe to allow Royalize to leave. And I don't know what that was. Maybe just a miscommunication. But out of here, terrible team fight, unfortunately, means you're going to lose one of your players. And now Royalize is coming back with Fallnets trying to take some sort of an upper angle from high ground.
Well, if your teammate's just going to sacrifice himself, maybe you got to hit him with a no, Ron, no. But Authorized Lovey still looking for Royalize because he wasn't able to get out of dodge. But bouncing Betty down, trying to play off that. I don't hate this, but a 1v2 is rather tough, especially when the swing comes in and you're just not going to win it. They didn't even need Reader there for the backup. Now, you are seeing one member still rotating out, but unfortunately it just got stuck.
Yeah, it's tough. It is what it is. We're going to continue to swing to a new team. I think likely some of these squads are going to be restabilizing after the beginning. You just love to have an early start where you win a team fight. You've got 3 kills in the first 60 seconds, and you can play a little bit slower to set up for in-game. The teams that rotated early to the last POI were the teams that came out on top. I was looking back. We've got some amazing people behind the scenes as we watch this Mirai squad kind of try to take down Team 47. We got some amazing statisticians from behind the scenes giving us some info, and some of the teams that rotated the most, meaning they traveled the most distance in the last map, that's the Team Diverse squad with Juju and De Niro, both inside the top 5 players that traveled the most distance, ran the most miles, or meters rather, maybe if you're watching from overseas, over the course of the entirety of map 1. So a fun stat, a couple of the people inside of that category that we'll talk about later, but a cool one to say the least.
I don't hate this zone pool. Like, it does have a good chunk of water should any of our teams in like Sawa run into immense difficulties, just kind of hit the road. We saw a lot of teams that they were looking for that regain hit the water because it's still in zone and waited out for placement. We talk about the regain. Mirai, we know you don't want to go down.
Yes.
You're going to fall. Sailor Kevy's squad able to mow right through them, but Don Lucky looking to clutch up, not going to be able to do it because that's going to be Taj making that happen for their squad.
Yeah, it's a fun team to watch out for. A team that battled through qualifiers. They're really solid in some of the scrims that we were able to host. Just need a really perfect tournament to have a chance here at the top 4. Might be just getting some good reps in today. We'll see. Definitely a team that can go big. I've seen actually cast it over Taj tons of times in some combat cups we did back in the day. Won several of those. He played with colors on several of those and went back-to-back wins in tournaments. So the guy can ball, and the rest of his team can as well. We'll see what they're able to do.
Team Stellar moves recently sandwiched between 2 squads, coming on over to Cemetery. Solidify on your screen with Prospect and Otter Eyes looking to find squad 50, but one member last standing, going to be completely annihilated. Not too bad cleanup while the other member is looking to hit the road running. Jerky, we see you out there. You have left.
We've got Stellar, Willie Teed. Drifts was going to think about taking some high ground. The Mortar Strike said, at the very least, be patient. So many streaks landing on this squad to make sure, assumedly, that it's Willie Teed's squad that's able to kind of get to the cover that they're trying to get to without getting picked off in the open. Now with the Signal 50 meta, right? Like, you can get picked off really quickly if you're not careful. Sometimes dodging around as POI. You've got a ton of pieces of cover to utilize if somebody's throwing down AR bullets, but two signal 50 bullets and bye-bye. See you in the gulag. Gonna use those streaks for cover. You're legit looking for an opportunity to find a window on Willie Teed and not get picked off in the meantime. 3 teams here fighting around this area, Tiff. I'll be curious to see who comes out on top, but really no rush according to our circle.
Yeah, you have squad number 12 rotating in. That's gonna be Team Omega. But Queen Shadows, her squad, grabbing a last chance qualifier invite, going big. Here's gonna be not 24 hours, completely decimating Voltrace. And Queen Shadows, look, she has been in the competitive scene since the dawn of time for Warzone. And honestly, we talk about people that have something to prove. Honestly, that's what she has right now. She knows that she has not necessarily been warranted in the competitive scene as of late and wants to get back into top form. Had a couple things pop up in the IRL scene, but looking to make a comeback here in the LCQ.
Yeah, Queen Shadows, I mean, she's got like $27,000 earned in this title, so it's definitely a competitor to watch out for. Foreign Jace, Scum and Unrational pushing the equation as per the usual. What was their game plan going in, Tiff? I think it was fly at every single team we see because we know we win those gunfights. Now, Solidify and Otter will put up a great fight, but not when they isolate themselves out. Jace putting on a show right now, even taking Otter top shelf. No, will fall. Scum in there to play backup. Otter's going to try to clean it up, but Smoke should provide some semblance of cover.
Oh, good smoke and potential res. Otter Eyes makes the peak. Gonna have to burn another smoke. You can see jumping off into the distance. Should be no issue getting Jace back on their feet. This is where like the medic vest that Dandro was talking about early on that could come into play. Hopefully they had one. Meanwhile, checking in with Intex. Believe Brolic on your screen. 21 eliminations from map 1 alone for this squad. Prioritize the rotations really nicely, and I think that's been the majority of the key to success for our squads here in World Series of Warzone. You can see on the mini-map absolutely no one in the nearby vicinity for them and should have a relatively clean rotate.
Yeah, I mean, as we take a look at Symphony's team, to be honest, there's no excuse for a bad rotation anymore. You've got Bird's Eye, you've got UAVs, you've got comms vests, like, get as much information. You use your recon drones. Like, get as much information as humanly possible to make sure your rotation is the rotation you want. Whether that's maybe an aggressive rotation where you're taking down one team at a time without risk of third parties, or maybe it's a rotation where you're not being contested at all and you can get to high ground position and force high percentage gunfights. Like, there is no excuse for a bad rotation anymore, unless you just don't have the resources and can't find them because of the drop spot you picked, and even still might be on you. Chocolate, Strixie pushing the fight here, and Tiff, they're winning it so far, losing one in the process. Chocolate down, just Strixie and Johnny. 2v2, and one is knocked on the other side.
Chrissy was the one able to send Chocolate to the gulag. Johnny getting caught from behind, but Chocolate's coming back in, and Strixie last standing for the meantime. Chrissy, you know, we see her compete a lot. And when she does, she throws down on the vibes, always having an absolute stellar time. But until then, we'll check in with that fight later. Omen has the rooftop on top of Classic Pain and Inno Zepti. A little bit isolated away from the squad, smoking and trying to rotate to close the distance. A big 1v1. Inno's going to lose out on that. Classic is going to have to step up and try to trade it out. Good call to smoke out the team, push the issue, but the switch, how did that player just disengage away from Classic Pain?
Yeah, this is now a 2v2. It looked like a free and clear victory for Zepti and Classic. Now they're in a little bit of trouble, both low on plates, so they're having to back up. Should be a clean 2v2 now, giving chase. Omen taking shots through the window, actually putting Zepti low again. Classic Pain having to use all of their resources to stay up, and look who's lurking in the shadows here. It's the Queen of Shadows. Team trying to third party with all three available. This is a nice push here from Queen's team. They seem like they're in top form for game 2, and they need to be. They need a big map here to kind of back up and increase the average after their map 1 was a little bit underwhelming. But Zepti's going to swing back and start firing back and saying, we can chow anyone. I don't care the numbers. I've got high ground now. I'm going to shoot down on you, and might swing the other way. Dalt might get involved here as a solo.
Green Shadows came into map number 2 in 37th place, and mind you, we're only playing a series of 5 maps. You cannot afford to have any lackluster performance. That's why Gojal mentioned, hey, you have to be perfect, and perfect is hard in a game of RNG and rotations. But Zepti, in the gulag, waiting to see if that's going to make it happen. But bro, airport is free.
Yeah.
Where the zone is pulling. If I'm squad 47 or 34, you have to hedge your bets. Do we cross over this main road here and maybe set up shop in airport? But the way rotations have been pulling, I think it's a safer call to play in Akhtar Village, or even maybe more towards that H5 POI. But even the rotation that, squad number 227, they're going to have to make. But that's the positioning to be had. Squad number 4, Team Oakley Boy, that's going to be a solid.
There's Team 25, actually Juju's squad that's already moved down to airport, so likely they have enough eliminations. They're feeling comfortable with themselves, saying, let's just hang out here for in-game. Let's lock in the multipliers. I was taking a look, and it was inside of Fortress there. Team 39, Team Symphony with Slack and Duffy. We're hanging out. They've been at Fortress since the very beginning, likely where they started. I don't think they're going to have a ton of eliminations if they're still hanging out there with not a lot of teams around. We'll check in with them later, though. They are 10th overall going into this map, as Plug Twist and Russ trying to push the fight here. Russ and Jerky is a fun team to talk about, just given their rostermania craziness. Russ and Jerky both trying to grab captain spots for LCQs. They got dropped by their teams. They're swinging all over the place, end up coming together. They've known each other for an incredibly long time, by the way. Russ and Jerky have known each other since before even Warzone, playing S&D chows together. Seen them playing in tournaments since the early Verdansk days. So ton of Kim there. It's just a matter of can they play well with Plug Twist, which I believe is Hobu.
Yeah, Hobu, one of our French-Canadian grinders. Recently, it's seen playing with Nobu, Bling, CJ throughout
Diverge, the team that got here early.
But
Tiff, it looks like they're being contested, though. Team 47, Sailor Kevi, Taj, Amaxides, they've stabilized. They're back to the full team of 3, and now they're contesting one of the probably best spots on the map currently as you wait and kind of hedge your best for where this zone is going to go. I love this POI, and they know how good it is, so Locksteel's going to try to lock it down, but taking care of this entire squad, and so far, so good.
Sailor Kevi, though, gonna go down on the inside. Now the siege is happening. Taj, who was the early player to able to clutch it up, gonna fall as well. So now, if you're a Amaxides, you've got to get out of dodge, but you're gonna get completely decimated. Juju, Locksteel, and Dinero able to clean up this engagement, staying relatively healthy. No third parties nearby that they need to be weird about, but Team Legit, they're going to be the closest team to them.
Tiff, that is stage 1 Juju if I've ever seen it. That team is looking flawless currently. Going into this map, I believe they're situated in 4th overall, 27 points. Likely going to replicate that success. Swing back to Classic Pain. Observatory, as per the usual, always a hot spot, whether you're rotating in or starting here. It's a major POI to make sure you can lock down. So you have a free and clear rotation out, given the height, of course, on the map, central location. People are always running through there, no matter where the zone pulls.
It's not bad, but it's really far out on the circle, and Classic Pain falling outside the top 30 squads right now. Needs to be finding as many eliminations as possible. Speaking of eliminations, Lovey sitting on the utmost high ground, trying to use lethals to bait him out, but they're not going to be fooled. Slide. Xify wanting to go ahead and make this happen, and when you're a duo, taking on a duo, how are we going to make this work? Authorized just says, hey, maybe I'm just going to push the issue, rotate out. They've got the mobile buy coming back in, maybe get their third back in.
Certainly possible. Mobile buy is one of the keys to success, not only in the wild card, of course, being able to buy people back, but here in the main tournament. Resources are everything. Buying back your teammates, advantages, anything you can give yourself to mitigate RNG. Tiff, you were talking about that earlier. I think it's a great shout. Mitigate that RNG. Make it not an issue, whether it's a zone pull that goes away from you and you've set up kind of somewhere between, or making sure that you have a gas mask to make that rotation if it doesn't go your way. Like, do anything you can to mitigate that RNG. Squad 3 trying to figure out what fight do we want to take, and they're gonna hang out there on the barracks on the outside rather than the parapets of that fortress. Zepti pushing the equation on Omen. Nice trade, though. Dalt does get 1 on Zepti. Signal 50, pop from Classic Pain. Answers back, but here from Eno and Classic, I don't know what you do here. It looks like Rob Easy and Omen are saying, this is not worth our time. Let's go ahead and rotate now, and probably a smart move to make sure we stay up. Again, multipliers have just started, Tiff.
Chrissy taking on Team Juju here, and we saw just how well this team took their last engagement, but Juju finding themselves early down. Looked like a nade caught him by the side. Locksteel is going to have to step it up. They're looking for the flank. Will they get there in time to help out Dinero? Chrissy already has fallen as well, so the trades are coming in. Dinero still down. Locksteel
Wow.
down as well. That is such an unfortunate engagement for them. But Chrissy's squad, they are here to make some waves. Look at that reset coming in.
Tiff, that was a massive win, and I think the Team Diverge folks, Locksteel, De Niro, and Juju, really didn't think it was going to go that way. They pushed that fight with a lot of gusto because that's their mantra. I was talking to Juju even during stage 1. He was just like, our goal is chow everything. We are the best team out here. We know we're the best team out here. We can beat anyone. We've got to chow everything. They chowed it. They lost that one pretty dramatically and threw away what was going to be one of the biggest games we've seen in potentially both sides. They were already on 10 with 30 up. I mean, a game that they're going to look back on and say that could have been massive, but at the very least, they grabbed some eliminations, so it's not a total loss. They'll likely still be inside the top 10 looking forward into map 3, but going to need to kind of up that success, drag up that average going into map 3. So we'll see where they fall, but Relic Squad has been hanging out for a while. Usually a squad will decide to play a little bit slower when they need to, even if they don't have a lot of kills. For positioning, let's take a look at that positioning though, Tiff. Couple squads now favoring airport, but it actually pulled out of airport and is between pass and airport. You're going to kind of be playing over that street, that bridge. It's going to be an interesting final circle here, Tiff.
Yeah, a lot of teams are still on that western side of Akhtar Village, and if I'm thinking of the no-name POI, that those buildings that kind of live out to the east of Village, those are where I want to find myself, because that's kind of where it's pulling to, and usually that's one of my early game drop spots. You can find a lot of cash there. It's beautiful for a regain if you need to, but usually it's already kind of pilfered through. But having to rotate into that late game more towards from H5 is going to be atrocious. But Huskerrs on your screen right now, they were doing pretty well. Now currently a Blaze trying to get through that prominence burn, and Mutex and Huskerrs are going to lose out once again on Jesus. We cut to them, and a free cam shot had just gotten bought back in. Now on a slight bit of a regain there.
Yeah, huge win though against JC Baby. Again, that Iceman Isaac squad on paper has some potential. They just haven't quite been able to put it together in the first 2 maps here, or even in scrims. They just needed more time to get things clicking on all cylinders. They're gonna need some monster effort here in the last 3 maps to have a chance. Mutex squad though firing away. V8, V12, whatever you want to call it. You're gonna see them likely take first place if Dakota squad fell early. As we watch a couple of the other teams that are here on the edge of Fortress, potentially trying to rotate out or catch some teams rotating in. You can see Intex and Believe, again, they've been kind of setting up this net for a while, just hanging out on the edge. Brolic, their sniper, kind of playing anchor as the other 2 roam forward, try to get some intel, roam back. They would stay within a certain amount of distance between each other, a pretty close distance, but that's how they like to split. Brolic playing a little bit back, the other 2 pushing up. But on the other side, this is one of the spots that you were talking about. A lot of cover here and not a lot of teams here. Only 3 to be exact that you can see. Jada Vi's squad, Lovey squad, B-Mark, Casper squads. Looks like a couple people might say, oh, is this free over here? Is this a free spot? And I think B-Mark says, no, Colony, it's not. We've been here for a long time. Get out of here.
You cannot claim this building at any point in time right now, so they're probably going to get evicted shortly. But Brolic and Believe, that's right, setting up that great positioning here, able to just kind of elongate and take as much space as they need. I think being able to control that environment on the outskirts of Village while those teams look to rotate is going to be really strong. But the last we had seen from this squad, 39, Symphony, Duffy, and Slacked, was in that Fortress engagement that they originally won out on, now have rotated in, kind of coexisting in this building alongside Classic Pain. You've got Future Has Game and Yeet just on the left side building for them. A lot of the real estate in this final circle are going to be given up and occupied, but I don't mind the use of the deployable cover to kind of block a couple angles. Surely it only covers maybe a 1/4 of this, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, see, again, I just don't think they have enough eliminations. Now, maybe Symphony has a sizable amount, but Slacked was sitting on 4. Duffy still has yet to find his first. That team's an interesting one. Of course, Symphony, Slacked, and Apathy played in the stage 1 finals and then made it into the stage 2 quals, of course, because they didn't get top 25 and didn't have a lot of success there. I think they were a couple spots out of making it to stage 2 finals. So as we were kind of cycling through teams, there were some rumors that Slack was going to play with some other people. And then they got shifted over and Symphony was like, I'm going to play. And then they pulled Duffy at the last second, one of the most passionate players on the timeline. So anyways, we'll check in with that squad in a second as Intex, Brolic, Believe, textbook, breach and clears, body stack, win the gunfight, and don't lose a player doing it. This team doing very well today. Whether they're living up to the standards, Tiff, or proving people wrong, either way, fantastic job clearing that building.
It's really hard when people put these expectations on you, or if you feel like you have something to prove. It's like you just have to shake off those preconceived notions and just play your game. Focus on the task at hand, map by map by map, and get there. Take that ultimate high ground and watch teams that are looking to rotate in. Have that Schlager optic, you know, that one optic to rule them all, as Dandro dubbed earlier. And Intex right now with a signal 50, only on 1 elimination, but last we checked in with them, didn't have any. So we're starting to move in that kind of, you know, upward trajectory. The kills will come. Just play your placement.
Look at this circle though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams all here on edge having to push in. There's only what, 3 buildings technically inside of that zone on this side of the street. So this is going to be a bloodbath coming out this village area. I mean, this is tough here. I mean, Munch and Clown are here too, trying to push over, and then this is the other side of the street, right? So you've got Future Squad that's been hanging out here the whole time. People talk about them as win grinders, lost out by 0.2. Need a win today. Future technically top slayer, made it here, but Symphony's gonna try to slay out. 2 kills matching Slack's 4. They're being contested. This is exactly what they wanted. Held down the building correctly. Here comes Yeet, the third party.
I mean, they have to push with that circle closing. Yeet was in the building to the left of him, but now trying to get a hold of Slack, able to pick up 6 eliminations. But Slack through the smoke, through the chaos, just dips out. But you have an entire highway and train track that you are going to have to push into, and keep the positioning of Grev and B-Mark just kind of prone over here, waiting to see who's going to make it out of it. But if you're just going to be laying down the chaos, everything's going to be happening. IQ, Booyah, Ryda, not bad positioning here as you take out Squad 20. Clumsy, the team captain, going to fall, but now you still have to keep moving. So for the teams that have already repositioned themselves, I'm looking at Squad 18, Team Colony. They flew in late game, but IQ, you gotta get there.
This circle is crazy. I was going to ask why the chickens were crossing the road. Well, nobody's crossing the road. Everybody's just going to the road and hanging out onto it. There's still 10 teams up in this game, and there's 0 cover inside of that circle, at least on this side. Look how many squads are going to have to battle through the gas on edge of zone. Just a matter of who plays these fights correctly. We've lost 1 here from Booyah and Ryder. They're in trouble. Ain't no way you're getting out of this one. See you later. Should be top 10. Still a really solid game for that squad. It's Munch and Clown that have moved to a small piece of cover on this side. On the other side, you've got Green Does, one of the squads I shouted out, grinding through scrims. Last alive for his squad. Will certainly fall top 10, but still a decent map. Munch is on 6, and hey, I'll take cover on loadouts. There's at least something that you can use for cover. And Chrissy's got a full team of 3.
The regain is impeccable. Now, but I'm serious. Squad 18, Team Colony 2K, you saw them flying in, and that kind of end game Colony flying back in as well right now. Not a bad positioning, but it doesn't matter if she's got the Schlager. Chrissy on the signal 50 going on 7. We already have Smixy going to London. Can we get another lady up in there? We're going to have to wait and see. That circle pool is going to go in favor of Chrissy's squad.
This is a perfect setup for Chrissy. It's a 3v2v1. She's on 7 with the signal, trying to find where her opponents are. Little does she know, there's one team to the far left, which she's been watching inside the vehicle. There's another player floating up above them, I believe, and she takes one out of the car. Bye-bye. Signal 50 is on top. That's 8 for Chrissy by herself. The teammates certainly have several. They have well beyond breached the metric of success. Maybe can they find one out of the air? Comms coming through. Chrissy finds it, hits it. Can't clean it up yet, but might be given to her. Yes, that's now 9 for Chrissy, looking for double digits by herself and looking for the victory. Waldo hanging out in the gas. Not much you can do here, bud.
Needs the biggest clutch of their life with the signal 50 for themselves, but honestly, number advantage is not in your favor, and Chrissy just needs an off angle to put it to bed. And Chrissy's squad likely going to be the victors here in map number 2, barring any kind of craziness. Wow. And just like that, we are going to have that final shot. I'm so ready to see. Congratulations to Team Chrissy for taking map number 2.
35th in the stage 1 with H. May. This time around, new teammates, new Chrissy. She goes big in map 2 and grabs a victory with a massive amount of kills. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, he's inside. He was inside the car. I swear there were 2 in that car. I don't know.
Bridge, maybe?
One's above. Look, get this kill. He's landing behind us. One shot behind us. Nade him up here. Last person up here. One shot behind us. Nade him up here.
Nice, you got it. Here, Gooey. I don't have any either. Hold him, hold him, just hold him, yeah.
I got a fucking sniper on him. Fuck off, dude.
We need to get this kill.
Yeah.
But don't give him any either.
Yeah. He's running out of shit. He's running out of shit.
Primary objective
Nice,
complete.
guys.
Look out there.
Come on! Oh my god, I'm literally the fucking best with the sniper, dude. I've just started using the sniper today. Let's fucking go, dude. I was sniping everybody at that shit. Let's go. Come on. Oh my god.
The best with the sniper indeed. Chrissy goes massive with Gooey and Clay. They dropped 22 kills. That's a 44-point game, Tiff. What are we talking about?
I mean, that's impressive. I think she even said, I just started using the sniper today. So regardless of when she started using it, she's obviously the best, hands down. That is a massive game for them. And I've seen Gooey been playing since Verdansk as well. So not a bad trio there. And hey, we're just getting started. Map number 2. What a wild game.
Kim on top. Signal 50 on top, Chrissy on top. 44 points in total. The biggest game of the day thus far. That's going to match one of the bigger games from yesterday that Pro Urson was able to do.